One night, a man was seen returning home after a long day at work. But while inside the house, he was confused when he saw an unfamiliar watch stored on top of the cupboard. He then tried to pick it up using a chair. But suddenly, a hitman named Mike immediately strangled him using a rope to death and disguised his death as if the target ended his own life.
Who I am? Don't do this.
Yeah, I know you are, mate. That's it, let it out.
After his job was done, Mike went to the bar. When he entered the bar, Mike saw a woman who was being harassed by criminals. Seeing that, Mike decided to beat up the criminals.
Come on then, you cunt!
Cheers, love.
Satisfied with beating the criminals, he went to another bar where the hitmen gathered. The bar is run by Ray, a former mobster and teacher who trained Mike to be a professional killer. Ray, long retired, built a hitman service organization. There, Ray also recruits sadistic killers from various regions. Among them was a brutal man named Cliff, who used a large axe to chop his victims to pieces.
Freestyle these days, except for the odd example killing.
There is also Pete, a poison expert who kills his targets using chemicals. Although he looks like a freak, Pete is the most skilled assassin because any target he kills will not realize that he has been poisoned. Next, there are two former special forces turned hitmen named Mick and Mac. They are former soldiers who served in Afghanistan to defeat the enemy. Next is a female samurai expert named Jane and is a former soldier from the United States.
The honey trap killing machine.
Next, there is Fred, a fat man who kills his victims with his own modified tools, such as a microwave that is turned into a bomb or poison gas to kill his victims.
Invention's a complete scandal. He came up with an ingenious way.
The last member is an old man named Milton. He is the liaison between clients and members and distributes the earnings to the hitmen. Meanwhile, Mike himself is the hitman who specializes in manipulating the deaths of his targets as if they died by accident. Ray's own group has strict rules, such as the prohibition of killing fellow members and the prohibition of finding out the identity of clients who hire their services. If these rules are broken, the hitmen will immediately execute the culprit. Shortly after being introduced to the members, Milton invited Mike for a one-on-one talk. He urged Mike to complete the unfinished mission immediately, as the client wanted his target dead. The next day, Mike was ready with his gun on the roof of a building, when the target was seen not far from his calculated position. When the car passes, Mike immediately shoots the car's tires with a special projectile, causing the driver to lose control and crash. Mike's actions instantly killed his target, and everyone would regard the incident as an ordinary accident. Mike returned to his house to vent his post-murder tension. But for some reason, the man suddenly remembered the good memories he had with his ex-girlfriend, Beth Carpenter, who left Mike, and he decided to live with his new girlfriend, Charlie Adams. After that, Mike got a call from Milton, asking Mike to collect his payment in an alley at 9 o'clock in the evening. When he reached the specified location, Mike did not find Milton's whereabouts. He is instead attacked by an amateur assassin with a barrage of bullets. When the killer had run out of ammunition and intended to leave, Mike immediately blocked him and finished him off.
You're a disgrace to my profession. I don't want to know anything.
Not long after, Mike received a message from Charlie informing him that Beth had died. The next day, Mike attends Beth's funeral, but only sees her from a distance. After everyone left, Mike visited her grave and placed a bunch of flowers near the tombstone. Charlie then goes to Mike and tells the chronology of the robbery that led to Beth's death, and tells Mike that Beth was pregnant with his baby. Arriving home, Mike watched a television broadcast that reported about the suspect in the murder case of Beth's death, who had been found dead due to a suspected overdose. However, Mike don't believe it because Beth is an environmental activist, who is very active in gathering information about violations of environmental rights by certain companies. Mike decides to investigate Beth's murder by stealing a police report and visiting the scene. At the location, Mike tries to reimagine the chronology of Beth's murder, referring to the data written in the police report. However, Mike found an oddity in the type of sedative found in the victim's blood, where high doses of sedatives like that were only given to someone who experienced excessive phobias while on a plane. While Mike knew for sure that Beth was not afraid of flying at all, Mike finally realized that Beth's murder was carried out by professional killers, not junkies. The man deduces that Mick and Mac are responsible for Beth's death, as they specialize in disguising murders as random street crimes.
You don't look too happy, Mike. What's up?
Why don't you take a wild guess?
Mike then goes to where Mick and Mac practice taekwondo and confronts them, accusing them of being Beth's killers, but both deny the accusations. Mike then informed that Beth was pregnant, so she would not use high doses of sedatives because it would harm the fetus.
We were doing our jobs just like you done 100 times before. Okay, Mike. It's a big fucking deal, man. Why do you care so goddamn much?
Finally, Mick and Mac admit that they have killed Beth, and say that it's just part of the job. They don't know the identity of the client who wants Beth dead. Even though he already knows that Mick and Mac are just doing their job, Mike still beats up his two comrades. After being pressed further by Mike, the two then said that Milton might know the identity of the client. Mike immediately returns to the oasis and meets Big Ray, who reminds Mike to never get emotionally involved in his work, and says that Mick and Mac are just doing their job without any grudges or any specific purpose outside of their business. But Mike insisted he want revenge. An angry Big Ray then told Mike to cool his head and not get carried away with emotions.
Mac had a job to do and they fucking did it. Alright, no questions asked.
Milton hired him to take out Beth. Why the fuck did no one consult me about this?
The man then pointed a gun at Mike and told him to get out of there. Mike left, but remained determined to avenge the death of the woman he still loved with all his heart. His feud with Big Ray makes Mike reminisce about his past when he first met him. Mike, who was 15 years old, worked as a newsboy and was constantly bullied by the thugs.
I would call it getting the shit kicked out of you by a gang of little...
While hiding from bullies, Mike sees a mysterious man walking away from a house which explodes. After recording all the killings committed by the man, who was none other than Big Ray, and spying on him for weeks, Mike ventured to Big Ray and showed all the footage to the man.
You kill people, don't you?
Mike intends to blackmail Big Ray into teaching him to be an assassin. Big Ray almost wants to kill Mike, but after seeing Mike's strong determination and intelligence, Big Ray agrees to train Mike. With the help of Big Ray, Mike also carried out his first murder, targeting the head of the thugs who often bullied him. Big Ray then told him to stick a cash on the antenna on the outside balcony of his apartment. When the target tried to take the money, Mike, who was hiding in his room, then pushed him until he fell from a height and died instantly.
Never.
Big Ray then says that he has evidence against Mike in the murder, and warns Mike never to betray him. After that, Big Ray taught Mike what he needed to become a professional assassin and become a father figure to Mike.
Okay, suffocating his own fucking underpants.
Over the next few years, Big Ray taught me everything I needed to know about the dark arts of his murder methods. And he trained me in martial arts. Taekwondo, karate, kung fu, eskrima, muay thai, you name it, we practiced it. Long-range weapons, short-range weapons, all sorts of weapons. Tough on me, yeah, that's for sure. But iron sharpens iron, and now I'm as tough as nails.
Big Ray then set 3 important rules in the profession of an assassin, namely never to get angry, never get emotional, and never get caught, which 2 of the 3 rules have now been violated by Mike. Turning to the present, Mike goes to Charlie's place and tells her that Beth's activities as an environmental activist might trigger the anger of certain parties. So they decided to get rid of Beth. However, Charlie doesn't seem to believe Mike's words, especially after he says that Beth was killed by professional assassins. Before Mike could explain further to Charlie, Cliff suddenly barged in and tried to attack her with his axe. Mike is forced to fight his most brutal partner and accidentally kills Cliff with his axe.
Who sent you to take me out?
I didn't even know he was here, mate.
After learning that Charlie is also their target, Mike also urges Charlie to reveal all the information she knows about Beth's recent activities. She also reveals that Beth is involved in a feud with Pankit Petroleum, a corrupt oil company that wants to drill for oil in the North Sea, which Beth strongly opposes as an activist who fights for environmental sustainability. Mike then asks Charlie to find information about the oil company, while he will track down Milton's whereabouts. After knowing the location, Mike, who no longer cares about Oasis's rules not to hurt Milton, then tortures him to reveal who has ordered the murder of Beth.
Jesus Christ, Mikey, stop it!
But the fact that you knew a hit.
Poppycock!
I want to know who paid for the hit on my Beth, and why he took the fucking job in the first place.
Milton then revealed that the person who had ordered the murder of Beth was a man named Leonard Kent.
You down, and he will too.
Mike immediately called Charlie and arranged a meeting as soon as possible. Meanwhile at the Oasis, Big Ray and the others gather to discuss about Mike, who they think has gone too far by killing Cliff, and decided to make other assassins to incapacitate Mike. After meeting with Mike, Charlie reveals that Beth has gathered information about Pankit Petroleum, a corrupt Indian oil company, provided by Archie Rudd, while Mike tells Charlie that the person who ordered Beth's murder was Leonard Kent, who works there. Mike immediately went to Kent's office and tortured him, threatening to throw him out the window so that Kent would reveal all the information about his involvement in Beth's murder.
Hey, this is gonna fucking hurt. And I'm sure the old crooked suicidal accountant takes a swan dive act.
Threatened by Mike, Kent is forced to reveal everything by handing over a recording containing another man's voice ordering Kent to kill Beth. Shortly after, Mick and Mac suddenly enter and shoot them blindly. Kent was killed in the incident. Mike gets into a fight with Mick and Mac, until Mick accidentally shoots Mac and kills him, while Mike manages to immobilize Mick with a fire extinguisher. While trying to escape from there, Pete suddenly ambushes Mike outside the building. But Mike killed him easily using his own poison.
Look at you like that greasy little twat.
Mike then confronts Fred, but he only knocks the man unconscious and steals his homemade bandage. After that, Mike immediately went to the house of Kent's superior, an oil tycoon, a man named Atal Zim. Arriving at Zim's house, Jane the Ripper seems to have been waiting for Mike's arrival, and the two of them got into a fierce fight, until Mike finally managed to kill Jane with her own katana.
They're the toast, Michael. And if you're lucky, I'll let you lick the knife.
Bringing Jane's katana, Mike went to Zim. The man then offers Mike a huge amount of money, as long as Mike doesn't kill him. But Mike didn't care and immediately cut off the man's head.
No thanks.
After avenging Beth's death, Mike goes to Big Ray at the Oasis, and says that he has crippled the other assassins because they tried to kill him. Mike then plays the rest of the tape he got from Kent, which reveals that Milton had ordered an amateur hitman to kill Mike in the gang and assigned Mike, Mac, and Cliff to eliminate all loose ends. Feeling angry and betrayed, Big Ray beats up Milton, who admits everything and makes excuses for sheer greed. Seeing a battered Milton, Mike offers him a band-aid that Fred had developed for poisoning. Milton applies it and slowly dies. Big Ray then pointed a gun at Mike and threatened to shoot him. But Mike is sure that Big Ray won't shoot him, and surely enough, he don't have the heart to do it because he always thought of Mike as his own son. Big Ray allows Mike to leave but warns him to never return to the Oasis. Mike leaves, and vows to protect the city as a vigilante. The film ends. If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy, hit the like button, and if you disliked it, hit the dislike button twice just to be sure. You should watch the full movie. Thank you very much for watching.